my name is Anna Shepard. I live in Washington, Iowa. It's a small town of about 7,500 people. However, I couldn't be more unlike any of them. I grew up about 7 miles outside of town in a small trailer. I like to tell people that I lived in a trailer because they automatically assume that I grew up in a trailer park with all its stereotypes surrounding me. But the truth couldn't be further from that image. It's a small trailer, but it's on a poured foundation in 3 acres, and all that's surrounding it is trees and a pond. You can barely even see the neighbor's house, which is great. It had so much privacy that growing up, we got to play in the pond, even though it belonged to our neighbor, and we were so creative. And in all that, I got my independence, which is, I think, my most defining feature now. When I say we, I mean me and my 4 siblings. I had 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and they're all older than me. I was the last kid, I was an oops, so there's a bit of an age gap between me and my other sister. It's about 3 years and 3 months, so it's not that bad, but it's enough to where I ended up being alone more than they all did, because by the time I was a teenager, they were all going off to college and everything. So I spent the year from when I was 13 to when I was 14 all alone in the house while everyone was at work. And my schooling was whatever I wanted it to be. We were homeschooled, so I just was given books and told that I could learn on my own just as easily as with someone telling me what to look at. So that's what I did. I learned about English and science and everything else just by reading books about them. And I focused mainly on health books because somehow I managed to memorize the only 2 that we had in our house. And that's what's led me to what I'm going for right now, which is dietetics. I figured if I could memorize health books when I was 13 years old, then I should probably get into that for the rest of my life. So that's what I'm doing. And I also developed a really, really strong fondness for animals. We had a few dogs and a lot of cats, and I just fell in love with them all. And they ended up meaning a lot to me. And when I'd walk in the woods and everything, sometimes I would stumble across a baby deer or see a small baby coyote, or just see little squirrels and chipmunks and deer, lots of deer. So I just started loving animals, and I raised some puppies and grew really close to them, and if any of them ever happened to have to pass away, I was always heartbroken as a kid, but it gave me that real strong sense of just closeness to animals, which I'm glad I have. And then also, I was really, really creative. All my siblings, even though they're older than me, they were super, super into anything creative. We would paint, we drew, we did comic books, we wrote screenplays and had movies, we directed them, and they were just fantastic. I actually took it up after they were all off to college, and I got all my friends and put them together, and we made movies, and it was great. It was a lot of fun, and we still have all those tapes, and we still have all those memories, and I wrote a ton of screenplays that are probably all lost in some computer somewhere now, but it was just such a great way to express creativity and have that outlet and make something that would last forever. So I'm really glad we had that, and I have really strong family ties, which most small town people do, but I also, there's a distance in between me and all my family members. We all live about an hour away from each other or less, but we don't get together maybe once a month out of the year, so we're not very, very involved with each other's families. That sounds bad, but it's really not. It's just how we are and how we've always been. It's because we all are very independent people who love each other to death, but we all know that we have our own lives going on, and that's okay. It works for us, and we all like our space. So I know that's why I like my space. I'm married now, but even my husband knows I like my space. He's already gone tonight, so he knows that I can be left alone, and he likes it that way, and so do I. So that is what makes me, me.